Hi guys, this is Kurt, and today I'm talking about my eye implants, about my eye surgery that I've done about 5 years ago. Yes, it's 5 years, man. Today is the 11th of May, and in 2016, on the 12th of May, so in 1 day from now, it will be exactly 5 years I've done my eye implant and my eye operation. For people who are joining in, welcome, and this is about the implant of trifocal FineVision lenses that I have done about 5 years ago. And if you don't know what is these implant lenses, they take out your original lenses that are in your eye, so they actually open the eyeball, and they pull out the original flexible water drop lens that's in your eye and replace it with a fixed trifocal lens. Trifocal refers to close, intermediate and far vision, and they replace it so you don't have to wear any glasses, reading glasses, if you are suffering something like me I was suffering from, and most of the people are suffering from. When you get to the age of 50 something, you start to have some presbyopia, and presbyopia is the beautiful effect that when you start to read text, you need to keep it further and further and further until you end up using reading glasses. This update I will explain you about my current vision, close by, intermediate, far away, what has changed if I compare it to my natural eyes, and what has changed also in these 3 years. I haven't done any updates on the video channel here, so I think it's interesting for you if you are in the process of having an operation, but also if you had an operation and you want to see and to know how things will evolve to 5 years post-operation of your implant lenses. Let me start with a question that I get all the time. First question: hey, do you still wear reading glasses? And my answer is no, I don't use any reading glasses anymore since I've done my operation. So there is no way why I should use reading glasses, because I can put the font of my screen on the smallest possible settings and it's just perfect. It's like, you know, my eyesight as I am still a kid of 16 years old. Very short summary on why we use these implant lenses, and we don't choose, for example, for of course reading glasses, but also for eventually a LASIK operation. Reading glasses, I want to get rid of it. I feel like I look much older when I wear them, and that was the main reason, and also because I always have to find my reading glasses. I just need 5 pair of them, because I need one of these reading glasses in every single room, or I need to go and move when I need to read. So I found it so annoying not to be able to read anymore the closed text, and that's one of the reasons. So I was looking for a permanent solution, and LASIK was not a permanent solution, because what they will do is they will actually treat normally one eye. For the far vision, they will probably leave it, but for the short vision, they will probably change one eye. So you will have one eye for short vision and another eye for further vision, for far vision. And this is something I tried out. I bought some lenses, not implant lenses, normal lenses, which has a plus sign, so for reading. And I was trying these out when I was in Thailand for a couple of weeks, and I really didn't feel comfortable with it. So I went to have a look, and the implant lenses were the only solution, a permanent solution for my issue with presbyopia, that probably 95% of the people, when they get at the age of 50 or 45, they start to have this issue of not being able to read close by. why is this issue there? The issue is there because these lenses in your eyes are little balls made out of a gelatin water drop, and the muscles around your eye, they will actually contract and release the ball, make it like this or make it flatter. I think it's when you look far away it's flat, and when you read close by it's a ball. And the problem is that this particular material that's in your eye, after the age of 45, it becomes more and more stiff, and it does not get its original round shape when you try to read text. So it becomes more and more oval, and then you are having trouble to be able to read text from close by. So you keep your text further and further away, and then finally you end up using reading glasses. So the ultimate solution these days is using trifocal lenses, implant lenses. And the ones that I was choosing back in 2016 was the trifocal FineVision Micro, I don't remember the names now, lens, and I have these implanted in my eyes. Now, here is the thing. Of course, doing an operation like this, there's always a risk involved. For some people, for 99% of the people, everything is perfect. Everything is fine, and there will be a minority, there's always a problem. So it's always at your own risk. I'm not a doctor, I'm not a physician, I'm just somebody who had this operation. And I started to make these videos because I saw that there was very few information on internet available from actual patients who have done this operation. You can find lots of videos from laboratories, from manufacturers of these trifocal lenses, of oculists or shops that actually, or operation, or I would say clinics that offer this operation, but none that I could find that was coming from a normal person like me. You know, I have nothing to do with I'm not affiliated to any doctor or clinic or brand name or whatever, and that's why I'm making these videos. Okay, let me strip down the explanation on my current vision and put it into sections. The first section will be my short vision, short close vision. The second section will be the intermediate vision, and then the far vision, which is going from about, so the intermediate goes from 1 arm length up to 2.5 meters, and then from 2.5 meters up to infinity, that is far vision. The thing is, if you do this operation, just to summarize, your lens will automatically adjust what are you focusing on. These muscles are actually doing the work, but of course when you have an implant lens, this is just a flat piece of, I would say, special plastic or material, and it will not move, it will not thicken, or it will not move. So in fact, how they solve this issue is by projecting 3 different pictures on your retina. And there comes a little trick. Your brain has to learn to interpret, to understand these 3 different pictures that are projected on your retina. And this takes time. We call it neuro adaptation. You need to get used to this new situation and the new way that you actually look at the world. It takes time, and this neuro adaptation is what are most of the people worried about and also scared about. Even those who have been doing this operation, they are worried because their vision is not perfect after the operation. And my only message to you is to tell you, you don't have to worry. Just look at my videos and learn from it and see and compare to what is your situation, because for every person it's different. So for my FineVision lenses that I have had, I'm very happy with it because I haven't had any need anymore to use any reading glasses. I am just putting the text on my phone in the smallest possible font. So it's really very small text. If you look at it, it's very, very small. Let me show it to you. So it's very, very small text. So, you know, and that's the whole point. I can have much more information on my smartphone screen than I had before, where I had to put the text as big as possible because I couldn't read it anymore. Now, I remember when I just got back from the operation, it was the first thing I could see very clearly is the font on my smartphone or any text. What was almost invisible to me, blurry, completely blurry because of my presbyopia before I did the operation. But what I noticed when I just did the operation is that next to the text, next to the graphics on a white background, I saw these letters and numbers and all the text. I saw it like 3 times. It was like projected around the actual shape. There was another version of that letter, and this is because when you look at the screen, this information is coming through this eye lens, this new lens, and there are 3 different locations that are projected on your retina, and your brain needs to understand which one you should concentrate on. I do remember that I had this vision where I could see this text, and I could see like this blurred triple version, the version that was right next to it. It was surrounded, actually, these letters and words, and the black image was surrounded by a copy of it. And nowadays, after 5 years, this is something I don't notice anymore. I don't see it. As far as I can do my best, try to see it, I just don't see it anymore. But I told this in my previous videos, I lost some contrast perception. And what do I mean with contrast? If you look at text, and that's the Swiffer who is now, yellow. If you look at text and you make a small pinhole, very small hole through your finger, and when I look at the screen of my smartphone or my computer and it's white background with black text, I can see that the text is pitch black. But when I just look through my normal eyes with these implant lenses, they are not pitch black. They're like slightly brownish, slightly less black. So black isn't really black anymore when you look at this text. So it's a little bit more brownish. And this is because you got different sections of the screen projected through this lens, and probably the short vision section of the lens is projected to the retina and is probably covered up by some white that is projected by the far vision section of the lens and the intermediate vision section of the lens on top of that black, pitch black letter. So in fact it's like, the contrast is lower than when you have the text when you read it with your normal standard, I would say, original natural eyes, because of the fact that there's some bleed over. I can call it that way. I think is the best way to explain it, is a bleed over from these different sections in the lens on the one that you're focusing on. Okay, and this can be in different directions. Okay, so I've noticed this after I've done the operation, and now we are 5 years later. That brownish color and that brownish copy of these letters and this text on the white background is gone, but still the actual letters and the actual text is not completely pitch black. Now, if I would project on my computer, let's say I take a square on a white background, probably at the edges of the square there will be some bleed over from the white to the edges of that square. Okay, it's hardly noticeable, but you will see it. It is definitely present in that black section of that square at the border. But the contrast lost, or the contrast that I lose after the operation, is not the case if I look inside the square. So it's just at the edges where you got some bleed over from the white over the black, by the other section in the lens, projecting it on top of it. And it will be something that I will talk about when I talk about my far vision as well. So I told you there is some contrast that you lose because of that. It's not all contrast is contemplated, all contrast is broken. It's not true. It's just where you have like a lot of contrast difference, like white and black. Okay, it's very high contrast, and when they are right next to each other and there's a little bit of black in front of the white background, then you will have this contrast that you will lose. Okay, but if you look at a normal image, okay, a picture or something like that, I think the contrast is still the same before I did the operation and after I've done the operation. But it's just on text that it's very noticeable, because this is how human beings read, right? So this is how we do it. White background, black letters. So if you have strong contrast, then you will have this issue, okay? That is about the short vision. Let me talk about the intermediate vision. And intermediate starts from 1 arm length to about 2.5 meters. And oh yeah, just regarding the screen, before I go to the intermediate, because of the fact that you lose a little bit of that contrast when you read text, you tend to actually put the display contrast, the display luminosity to the maximum all the time. So you better buy a phone that has a high battery or a big battery in there, so it will be okay to go through the day with your screen at the highest display levels. So just be aware of that. And this is true for a smartphone, but this is true for my computer. This is true for everything that is displayed. So just be aware of that. So if you're suffering from this particular contrast loss, you tend to put the brightness to the maximum. And it happened many times that somebody who's watching my screen, they say, wow, your screen is so intense, the brightness is to the maximum, it's too high. And this is because I need that high brightness to actually compensate the problem that I have with the contrast loss, and then it's okay. So if I put my the contrast to a lower settings, I might just even not be able to read the text anymore because of that. So that's the price I have to pay for short vision after using or doing this operation. This is Swiffer. He's going to dance for you guys. So yeah, he's doing an intermediate little dance, the cha-cha dance of the chicken, before I start to talk about the intermediate. Okay, this guy is about as old as my lenses in my eyes. I think I got him about a couple of weeks after I did my operation, and he's still there. He survived dog attacks, foxes, all kind of stuff. So I think he must have an angel with him. Aren't you, Swiffer? Okay, intermediate. There's not much to say actually about intermediate. It's perfect, except again, when I go to the supermarket store, and there's a shop here in Belgium, we call it Colruyt. They display their prices. You got these racks, and at the bottom, very low, they put the prices there, and sometimes they've got some promotions. And when it's like a red promotion, it will be a red sticker with black letters on top of it, or if it's intermediate promotion, it will be yellow or orange with black letters on top of it. I have difficulties to read them when I go to the shop. It has to do with, first of all, because of the background that is not very readable. Maybe even for normal people, is not very readable, but also because of the fact that the luminosity, the lights in these supermarket are fluorescent lights, so it's pretty dim. They try to save money, so it happens that when I'm walking through the store, that I need to bend over and really look from close, like what's mentioned there, especially if these are small letters. So it's not perfect, and there's like a little, I would say, spot around 2 meters, where the eyesight is less good than everything else, and it's only at about 2 meters. So when you stand up and you're right next to the display, and you want to read it, well, you're probably gonna bend over. This is for the intermediate sight. You want to do a dance, Swiffer? No? Come here. Come here. Come here for the camera. Come here. Yeah, he doesn't want to come. Come here. Come here. Yeah, he has a mind of himself. Far sight. Okay, now this is becoming interesting. The far sight is absolutely perfect. I can see things. I discussed this with my brother, who is just a couple of years older. I discussed this with my parents. I can see things that they don't see, So it's unbelievable how good is my eyesight. But again, I was mentioning about this bleed over of white and black text when you're reading text on a computer. I got the same issue when I'm looking at buildings, and there is one building over there. I'm gonna point the camera, but I'm not sure that you will see it. I think you barely won't. You probably won't see it. But basically, there is a house. It has a pitch black roof. Okay, there you are. It has a pitch black roof, and you've got some white background there. So the sky is pretty bright, and there's some bleed over of that white in the rooftop. If I would, this house is about, let's say, about 500 meters away from here, 600 meters, right? And there is like the sky blends over into the rooftop. And if I would go there and measure the size of what's bleeding over, it's probably going to be about a meter, right? So this is something you have to learn to live with. I don't think it will ever improve. It's just inherent to these lenses, because they're different images that are displayed, and that's probably the reason why you have to take care of this. So I can still have this bleed over, but it's not bothering me, in the sense that I remember when I did the operation, and I was walking around on the street, and I was looking at these street lights, just the street pole lights, I could see, like, next to the street pole lights, another street pole lights, a brownish version of it, like a transparent brownish version right next to it. That's gone, it's gone. I can barely see it. Maybe if I really would concentrate, maybe I would still see it, but no, yeah, maybe. Okay, slightly I might have it. I might still see it, but okay, it's not bothering me, and that's the whole point. This neuro adaptation is also to do with the fact that your brain is programmed to notice differences, and the longer that you are in a situation somewhere, the less that you will actually perceive these differences. It's the same with perfume. I'm selling perfumes. I just tell my customers also, don't put the perfume over here, put it on your arms instead of over here, because if you put perfume right here, you will have a continuous flow of perfume that will go to your nose, and because there's no change anymore, your brain isn't going to notice anymore, and you will not even notice that you have your perfume. But the people who are coming and walking around and passing you by, they will notice your perfume, because they go from an area where there is no perfume, and then they come into your bubble and they will smell the perfume. So your brain is programmed to actually see the difference, and after that you do this operation, you notice the difference between what you perceived before you did the operation, after the operation, and you look at these things and you enlarge them, you focus on them, because you see the difference. And lots of people who are in the situation that they have done the operation and they are doing this neuroadaptation process, they keep on concentrating on these things that are different before they did the operation. And this will fade out. This is also part of the neuroadaptation. Not only your brain gets used to it, and you will not notice the difference anymore after a while, because you will start to actually forget about it, that there is a difference. And this is something that is important to understand, is that you will forget about these differences after the operation, 1 year, 2 year, and now we're 5 years beyond the operation. And because you forgot that how it was before, only when you really focus and think about it, like I'm doing the video right now, yes, you will still notice these little, I would say, problems after the operation, but you will get used to it. It's like, you know, it's the same when you look at street lights, okay? Far away street lights, and I have to talk about this as well. Far away street lights, like these are 300-400 meters away. I can see the street lights on the other side of the house, and when it's pitch black, when it's night and they turn them on, I can still see the glare. I can still see the hollows around it, but you don't look at them anymore unless you really look like, oh, I'm gonna watch the street light, you know. But what will you do when you do this operation? After you've done the operation, you will focus, oh, the street light, you will focus on it because your brain notices a difference. But after a while, because it's been there now for 5 years, you notice this difference less and less and less, and you focus on it less and less and less. It's like, you know, European people, they do not recognize Asian people because they're not used to watch Asian faces, you know. And Asian people, they look at European people, they all look the same because they are not used to look at the European faces. But we as Europeans looking to another European, when somebody has a little hole in his teeth here, you will focus on it, and that will make this person different from other people. So you actually focus on differences, and this is the same with this operation. You focus on differences, and you look at this, and finally after a while you start to get used to it, and it doesn't bother you anymore. So you just have to give it time. There's nothing you can do. This is how it works. It's a price that you need to pay when you do this operation, being freed for the rest of your life from these reading glasses. Now that I'm talking about the lights, what do I see when I drive with the car? Yes, I do still see like stars right next to the front light of the cars when they turn on the strong front lights. When they have the normal lights on, I can barely see it. And I do remember when I was driving into a tunnel, it was feeling very weird the first few times after the operation, because yeah, it's completely different. You lose that contrast in intermediate luminosity environment, and this is where you actually see a lot of that contrast loss, and that's why when you are between daytime and nighttime, and when it starts to get, sunset is there, and it starts to, the sunset just finished, and it starts to get dark, that is when you actually feel very uncomfortable after the operation, and you really feel like very uncomfortable for, what is it, if you're living close to the in my region here, the time before it gets from daylight to pitch black nighttime is like half an hour. So during this half an hour period, you don't feel very comfortable. Also, when you walk from outside into a, I don't know, basement or a garage or something like that, you will feel uncomfortable. Prepare for that. But again, this is because you notice a difference in contrast after the operation, but you will forget about it, and finally you will get used to it. I don't feel uncomfortable anymore when it gets dark, when it gets, you know, when the sunset is there, when I go to a basement, or when I go to a low intensive luminized environment. It's gone. You stop thinking about this. So just give it time. But I have to be fair with you. I still see some glare. I still see some stars and glare and all these kind of things when I look at a very bright light source from far away. It's still there. So, but does it bother me? No. Is it holding me back? No. Does it hold me back in certain circumstances? Yes, For example, when I have to do something in electronics and you need to solder something, and you know it's very small, everything becomes so small that you know, then I might just use a loop, you know. It happens, or it happened a few times even recently, so even after 5 years after the operation. So these are my final thoughts about my operation. If you have any questions, oh yeah, before I end up, subscribe to the channel. I will definitely give you an update within a couple of years. Maybe it might be 5 years from now, maybe it might be 2-3 years from now, or if something happened. Maybe I should just add one more thing. Did I had any issues with my eyes? Did I use any medicine, or did I go and visit my clinic where I've done the operation after I've done my last visit? No. No need for any medical care, no special treatment of my eyes. I didn't have to put any products in my eyes ever since. Once they're inside the eyes, everything is cool, everything is okay, it's done, it's over. You don't need to take care about your eyes anymore. The only thing that I need to do is to check if I don't have glaucoma, which my dad is, so it's something that is a heritage thing, so that is a disease that is putting too much stress and pressure on the cells that are the receptors of your eyes, and you might get blind from it. So I need to do this checkup every 2-3 years. As I get older, probably it will be every year, but on the other side, it has nothing to do with my eye lenses. The implants are there after 2 or 3 visits after the operation, post-operation. You probably don't have to go to your clinic anymore for the rest of your life. So everything is perfect unless something happens. I fall on the ground and I hit my eyeball, or I don't know. I don't know what to expect from that. But normally they're very robust materials that is used. And one good thing about having these trifocal implant lenses is also that you can never have an issue with cataract. So because the cataract is actually the natural lens that gets matte, so because of, you know, the age, and this is something I will never suffer from because it's replaced by a artificial lens that cannot get this issue. Okay, so that's it. I'll wrap it up here. Please subscribe. I'm gonna make a couple of more videos in the near future. It's gonna be related to the chicken. So if you have any questions, ask them here, discuss in this video. I always recommend you also, if you are in the process of deciding to go for these lenses, go and check out my other videos about the implant lenses, because you might find very useful information about how it worked out, how my operation went, and all that kind of stuff. So it might be interesting for you as well. So there you are. I hope you enjoyed the video. Give me a thumbs up if you don't mind. I would really appreciate, and share the information to everybody who is who has done the operation and is having some doubts, or to anybody who is thinking of doing this operation. I would really appreciate. I'm not this is a final disclaimer. I'm not a doctor. I'm just a patient. I'm just did the operation, undergo the operation. I cannot give you any recommendations or information about your particular case, your operation. I think you should contact your doctor if you need more specific information for your case. I sometimes get emails like, oh, in this operation, but this happened, and I have got this kind of a disease in my eyes and all that kind of stuff. I cannot help you with that, unfortunately. I'm just a patient. I'm just telling you what I see through my eyes, what I can feel since I've done the operation, how the neuro adaptation has been over the past 5 years. But really recommendations about this kind of stuff, there's nothing I can help you about, because I'm really not the right person to ask. Okay, bye bye, and see you soon again.